You're locked in now. Welcome to Bringing the Wood.
Y'all already know. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, beautiful people, wherever y'all at in the world right now. You are tuned into your favorite sports podcast, the Bringing the Wood podcast. I am your host, D Wood, up to some real good on a beautiful, what's they call it, Sunday Fun Day? Sunday Fun Day, man. But we're going to have some fun today right here on the podcast. Thank y'all for always tuning in. You already know. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube production, please. It's always on the ticker above your dome or above my dome. So, yeah, thank y'all in advance for always liking, subscribing, and sharing it when you see it, whether it's real or me here talking like this. Thank y'all for sharing it. I appreciate the early support, man. We on our way up. But y'all already know I don't like to bore y'all too long, like they say in cha-cha. I'm a pastor's kid, so I can't help myself. But yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. We'll get into some off-season updates right away. We here. It's the off-season. Like I said, we are here. What's today? March 8th. The legal tampering period literally starts tomorrow. It already kind of started. We already seen some couple slights, free agent signings and things. I'll run over a couple of those. But again, season's moving right along. Football will be back before we know it. And again, we'll start with a couple extensions. Jordan Davis of the Eagles, he signed a 3-year, $78 million extension. Makes him the highest paid nose tackle in the NFL. Again, Jordan Davis, a part of that Super Bowl team of the Eagles, a part of that massive D line that, helped basically dominate their way to a championship. But yeah, I would have resigned him too. Again, they still got to try to resign Jalen Phillips, the edge they traded to get from the Dolphins. I think they traded like a third-round pick for him, so I know you definitely want to try to bring him back. But you definitely want to bring back a key cog in your Super Bowl run. Jordan Davis was that. So a big pickup for them to be able to get him back. Khalil Mack as well signed back with the Chargers on a 1-year deal worth $18 million, fully guaranteed. So again, Khalil Mack back again. Well, I think this is year 15, I think it said. And this guy he's still playing at a real high level. So I don't think it's no reason for him not to continue to play. And again, he's an effective player, still a vet player, and he's gonna be able to coach up some of those younger edges they got over there as well. You also got the Houston Texans giving Daniil Hunter a 1-year extension that includes a $30 million signing bonus. Again, played extremely well last season. He's been playing well since he got there. He played well on the Vikings. Daniil Hunter has always been one of the better edge players in the league since he's caught his groove coming out of LSU. Super long, athletic guy. Again, this is the guy you definitely want to bring back. Texans also signed Dalton Schultz. So bringing back a lot of their homegrown guys. They also cut Joe Mixon. I think he's going to be one of those guys that potentially have a market. He missed all of last season with an injury, but we'll see what he has on the open market. But again, those guys being aggressive and bringing their own guys back for sure because they got a really good team and especially that defense, one of the best defenses in the NFL last year. So you definitely want to bring back your guys. Woody Mark showed some promise with Joe Mixon being out. Chubb was okay. I don't know if they're gonna bring him back, but they're definitely gonna be in the market for a running back. The Texans will be. So we'll see what they do with free agency and during the draft. Who else we get to make some money out here? The Vikings restructured TJ Hawkinson. Again, a lot of people are going to be trying to get under the cap, and we'll talk about the cap a little bit later and whose money. And we'll show a couple of the teams that's got some money to spend as that happens as well. But Brent Huntley, backup quarterback for the Ravens, signed a 2-year deal. He had got out of there and played a couple other places, but he just fits in Baltimore and that style. Made a Pro Bowl there as well. So it was just good for him to basically re-sign there. You also got Zaire Franklin. I thought was a surprise trade. I mean, obviously with Quay Walker being let go by the Packers and is going to test the market, they was going to need another linebacker to go next to Adrian Cooper. So to be able to get Zaire Franklin from the Colts was a big pickup. A veteran linebacker, a leader, a physical dude, a thumper. Led the league in tackles in 2024. So he's going to be really good pickup for them. I think it's an upgrade. Yeah, he's a little bit older, but this guy worked for everything. Undrafted free agent, and basically worked and literally worked his way all the way up from the coach from the practice squad to being the captain on the team. So I think it was a big trade for the Packers to upgrade on their linebacker core. But shout out to the coach for being able to get a guy that they got undrafted and be able to get some value for him and get a defensive tackle. And I think his last name's Wooden. It's kind of slipped. His first name slipped my mind. But yeah, to be able to trade a player that you got undrafted, to be able to trade and get value for is always a win. So I think it was a win-win for both teams. But do think the Packers just got a nudge better, adding that guy to the defense, to go along with Michael Parsons, who also tweeted about Zaire Franklin coming to the team again. I think that's one of the much better pickups of the free agency that might not a lot of people talk about, but I think could really make something happen. You also got the Bears, who obviously we talked about them losing their center to retirement, a surprise retirement. But they were able to flip real quick and transition, trade a fifth round pick in 2027 to the Patriots and get Garrett Bradbury. Garrett Bradbury has been a consistent center since he was drafted, since the Vikings drafted him. Obviously, he was traded to the Patriots. Patriots had him. He was the foundation of their offensive line. They led him to a Super Bowl. Now you're gonna go here and protect these guys to go along with Joe Thuney and those guys that they got. I think the Bears are still trying to equip themselves to still make a run. Um, and they're doing all the right things, man. They're doing all the right things to try to, you know what I'm saying, keep themselves in this hunt of winning the NFC North one more time. I think it's going to be a fun division to watch with everything going. The Lions definitely going to have something to say about that, but it's going to be a fun division. Speaking of Lions, Taylor Decker came out. They're starting left tackle over the last umpteen years. Came out and announced that he requested a release from the team. So we'll see how that works if he's granted that wish. But Taylor Decker's been a foundational piece over there for them for the last couple of years. So for him to ask that out, man, maybe he sees the writing on the wall as well. So maybe he just wants to change the scenery. Things like that happen as well. Former Colts and Vikings offensive lineman Ryan Kelly retires after 10 seasons. Solid offensive lineman out of Alabama. Played center, played guard, but mostly was a foundational center. A really good player, a good career, solid football player. Who else we got? Oh yeah, Deshaun Watson was another one of those big news. Restructured his contract, converted 80 million of his money into signing bonus so that they can have more money to spend in cap. So the Browns trying to free up money. A lot of teams were doing that. The Cardinals, I mean not the Cardinals, but the Bills released Curtis Samuel, almost messed his name up. Teron Johnson, their nickel corner, who's been a Pro Bowler and All Pro at that spot. So I think he's gonna have a really good market. But again, with the new league year coming, everybody has to get under that threshold. So we're gonna see a lot of guys being a lot of surprise cuts. And then you're gonna see a lot of guys re-signing some of their guys. The Cowboys put a tender on the kicker Brendan Aubrey because again, you cannot let that guy walk away. You figure that deal out no matter what, man. That guy is getting points as soon as you touch the 50-yard line. He's guaranteeing you points. So you figure out a way to keep him on your team, man. Points matter in the NFL because points aren't easy to come by when you're playing against the best players in the world. So you definitely want to try to keep your kicker. But I think that he's definitely somebody they want to keep in house. And then Jerry Jones just came out and said he's going to uh, spend some money, and we'll see what that means. Obviously, we seen Dak and CD and all those guys restructure the deal, which we talked about last week. So we'll see what that does for them in return. Mike Evans again is going to be a free agent. He said he's going to test the market before he makes his decision. I'm rumored it's about 2 to 3 teams that he's interested in, and one of those 3 teams is going back to the Bucks. So he's really interested in the 2-team race. I'm not really sure what 2 teams that is. I got a couple teams I throw out there in the hat, but maybe Kansas City, maybe Buffalo, maybe Baltimore. Again, these are just some teams that you see. Maybe the Bears. But I think the Bears are going young. But like these are some of those teams I think. Obviously, we know AJ Brown is still out there to be traded. I think the Ravens are a real fit for him, especially with them going with getting the deal with Maxx Crosby, which we'll talk about that very shortly. But I do think AJ Brown is still a target out there. The Chargers, I think, is a team to be on the lookout for. They've been shopping Quinshawn Judkins. I mean, not Quinshawn Judkins, my apology. Quentin Johnston. Real on the low. They've been shopping their former first round pick. Obviously, Harbaugh didn't draft him, so he don't have no ties to him, but they've been shopping them. So don't be surprised if you see those guys make a run along with Baltimore. Again, New England's still out there as well with the as an option for AJ Brown. So I think it just depends on the highest bidder. I think the Eagles' price is kind of high if it is what they're saying is a first and something else. So I think if somebody's able to give them like a first and a player instead of 2 picks, I think that's kind of where they're gonna try to settle at. So I think AJ Brown will be traded before the draft. I think it's gonna take a little time, but I do think the Eagles are going to keep their price high though. As high as they can get. You know what they say, shoot for the moon, fall on a star, something, some one of those little weird theories they use. But I think it's interesting thing to see down the line. But I do think AJ Brown has played probably his last game in a Philadelphia Eagles jersey. But we're gonna get into the big thing of the weekend. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. We definitely gonna talk about the impact of the Maxx Crosby trade for the Raiders and the Ravens. And again, when this trade first happened, you definitely get people reaching out, asking the thoughts. The homies ask my thoughts. Producer Scoot, you already know, he definitely, hit me up. He already been in limbo trying to figure out where he finna be with his next team anyway. So I know this only helps further push you out the door. But I would say, um, pump your brakes. I do think it was a good trade. I mean, obviously you got fans like, they wanted more. Maybe they wish they could have got more. But I do think 2 first-round picks, especially when one of them is gonna be a top 15 pick. The Raiders pick I mean, not the Raiders, but the Ravens pick at 14 this year. So I do think this was a good pick. You get this pick this year and next year. So you got 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years, which is a good thing. Um, I think this takes pressure off of having to rush to win for the Raiders. I felt like as long as Mad Max was on the team, we know he wants to win and not just win a championship. So I definitely think as long as he was in the building, there was still gonna be that high expectation of winning out of him because that's what he does. He's a winner, so or he wants to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he plays. So I do think this kind of had to happen, and he was never gonna say trade him. He's not that type of dude. Y'all drafted him. The Raiders drafted him. They gave him the opportunity. They took a chance on him and paid him and all of that. So he's a forever grateful, loyal dude. So he was never gonna say he wanted out, but you can hear it in just kind of the things he said, and like he wanted to win and he wanted people to work hard like him and all the little things he said. And obviously he made the post talking about, he let the Raiders down and he let the franchise down by not being able to fulfill what he wanted by winning the championship. And all those things are true, but you know, all not all good things come to an end. But I do think this one ran its course. I think Mad Max will be forever loved by the Raiders. I think it's Sting right now. And it should, man. That was one of the best players the Raiders that had probably since Khalil Mack, who was there, and it kind of ended too early as well. But I do think Max will always be a Raider, no matter where he goes. I think the Ravens are a good fit for Max too, and we'll get to that for them. But I think for the Raiders, this was good. You get more pieces to build around your franchise quarterback. He is the new focal point. Now you move out everybody who has more. There's nobody on the team who has more star power than Fernando Mendoza now. And he's not even on the team yet. So I do think this kind of just sets a precedent to let everybody know, like, hey, we're officially turning it all the way over. We finna hand the keys over to the rookie and not necessarily, like I said, just push him out there to start. Because I also don't believe that they're gonna just start him right away. They obviously came out and said that they're gonna sign a veteran quarterback. Obviously we know they cut Geno Smith, but I think that was to help save money. And again, I'll divulge into that on Tuesday as we start our division by division breakdown. And obviously we'll start with the AFC West because they have the first pick in the draft and the Raiders. So we'll do a breakdown with that and we'll have some guests on for that as well. But as far as like I said for the Raiders, and right now I think Fernando Mendoza, would they look for a veteran to sit? Obviously, they cut Alex Kappa to guard. They've made some moves to free up some more space. They're sitting high. We'll talk about their cap space really shortly as well. But I think that's the move, man. You bring a veteran quarterback in. You let him start for a couple games, if not the season. You draft a bunch of talented guys to put around Fernando Mendoza over the next 2 years. So that way, when he walks out as the full-time starter in year 2 of his young career, it's a lot of new faces and a lot of first-round picks and talents around him to make him comfortable. Obviously, you got to trust what Kubiak did. He was able to do with Sam Darnold after bringing him in from Minnesota and make the way that thing look. Don't be surprised if maybe they signed some former Seahawk dudes, Tariq Woolen out there, Kobe Bryant, some of these defensive dudes to add to bring some veteran leadership over there to a very, very young and inexperienced team with a bunch of question mark guys. So the Raiders got a lot of money to spend. I think the trade was good for him. Now you got a lot of talent. Now you got 2 picks in the top 15. Now they got about I don't got their draft picks right here in front of me right now, but I want to say they got 5 picks in the top like 120. You know what I'm saying? You got a chance to walk out of here with 5 starters in just this year's draft alone, with a potential 3 to 4 in next year's draft to set your foundation up for the future really, really high. So don't be too dark and dim on Raider fans. I know the love for Maxx Crosby because he played hard no matter what the score was, no matter what the Raiders record was. He went out there and played hard from start to finish. So those are some things you never gonna forget. And but again, I think it's time for a new look. And as far as Ravens, they get a guy who's going to go out and if the Ravens are winning late in the games, Maxx Crosby can finish games. Um, but I do think this puts more pressure on Jesse Minter, who's also a rookie coach. We're talking about two rookie coaches, Jesse Minter of the Baltimore Ravens, Clint Kubiak of the Raiders. Two different seats coming in as rookie coaches. Kubiak got a lot more time now. You trade Max, they got a lot of time to grow and see things and watch this foundation grow from the ground up. Jesse Minter now comes in, Lamar Jackson, handpicked coach, who he wanted back here, who he wanted to be the coach. Jesse Minter brings in these guys. Now he tries to get Maxx Crosby. This team is now, I think Jesse Minter goes from this 5-year deal that he get to where this deal now on the landscape of thing is really like a 2 to 3 year deal. Like you got 2 or 3 years to have this team playing in the AFC Championship and or a Super Bowl in the next 2 or 3 years, or Raven fans are going to be looking at you crazy. This is the type of game we play in now. It's a quick success league, especially when you go out and trade for guys like Maxx Crosby. Like I said, that's not just a any old type of guy. So I think this one's going to be real interesting to see how the Ravens do. This puts a lot of pressure on Jesse Mitchell, the coach. I think this puts a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson as well. I think these dudes have, as the season goes on and we get closer to kickoff, I think the Ravens are going to be a team that's going to have a lot of eyes on them to see how they perform this year. With all of the woes they've had in the playoffs and lapses during the year and injuries, we're going out to get Maxx Crosby, who probably was the hottest ticket out there in the offseason. I think they're gonna have to really prove themselves in the next 3 years to show that this trade matters. Because right now on the surface, obviously everybody feels like the Ravens won the trade. Yeah, they got Maxx Crosby. But if in 3 or 4 years Maxx Crosby's deal is done and he's about to be said to be a free agent and they don't have nothing to show for it, but he played on the Ravens, um, I don't think this is such a bad deal like that, especially if the Raiders are able to turn out some of the success with the new regime, new GM, new ownership. These is gonna be some of their first couple drafts. So um you're gonna get these guys are gonna get a little bit more time. So I'm excited to see how this kind of pans out because again, I think two teams going in two different directions, but the trade impacted both teams, I think, in a good way. But I think the pressure just goes up on the Ravens end for sure. As I think the Raiders are now like, okay, now you can comfortably grow and we can just worry about this is your team. We can build it around you the way we want, the way Kubiak likes and make it comfortable for Fernando Mendoza. Because again, the Raiders got a lot of needs and they got a lot of things. And now with trading a guy like Max and getting picks like that, now you don't gotta try to get all your needs this year. You know, they're not gonna meet all the needs they won't meet all their needs in one season. So now with more picks, multiple picks, you can move around if you need to get those guys that are just can't mix guys if you need to. Um, or you can, you know what I'm saying, just sit where you at and stick and pick and build for the future. But I think the trade was good for both teams. But again, I think it's a little bit more pressure on Lamar Jackson and Jesse Minter and the Ravens regime to get this team prominence. And I think that's what the fans want. They love the MVPs, they love Lamar Jackson. But you know why every team wants to be able to say that they were a part of a team that won a Lombardi and they were there to see and they were alive for it and went to the show and had the banner parade and all that good stuff. As a Titans fan and not being part of a winning was there for our heartbreak, our 1 yard loss. Yeah, I was there. I was not there at the game, but I watched that. But you want to see your team win one. So yeah. For the Ravens fans who weren't there to see Ray Lewis or wasn't there for the Joe Flacco or new Ravens fans, and hey, they want to see it happen, especially with the team they got. And they got a generational player in Lamar Jackson who's gonna go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks of our generation, especially dual threat. So yeah, I think that they're gonna definitely put their foot on the gas to definitely try to maximize Lamar Jackson's prime, Maxx Crosby's prime, and all those other guys, Derrick Henry as well. These guys aren't getting any younger. But I think they're going all in, and that's what it shows. And again, I think that puts a lot of pressure on Jesse Minter and his staff to definitely get things done. Next, we're gonna talk about who's spending big money in free agency. Um, if y'all have been seeing a lot of teams been re-signing some of their players, restructuring players' deals. Alvin Kamara got his deal restructured as well to where he got 8 million guaranteed up front this year to help give them money now to get into free agency. Because they want to try to sign Cam Jordan back. is what I've been rumored to hear. But again, it's a lot going on right now. James Conner just restructured his deal as of 20 minutes ago, to try to still be a Cardinal, or he would have been the cut casualty because again, teams got to get under this threshold, because the new league year is coming up, and you don't want to be in the negative. Again, it's going to be a lot of talent out here, so you're gonna be hearing some good names getting traded, getting cut, some surprise cuts. You're seeing the Chargers cut half their team to get where they are, but now they got probably the second most money, and I'll be showing the breakdown real shortly. But again, the Giants just came out and said, hey, the asking price would be a high third round pick or a late second, to get Kayvon Thibodeau, former top 5 pick as well, of the New York Giants, who's kind of just, it's not that he's not good, he's just better guys in front of him. You know what I'm saying? And now that they've got Carter and they got Burns, you don't really need a guy like him to just pay him that much money to be a rotational edge. So you're definitely going to try to see if you can get some value for him again. New coach over there, Hardball, you're definitely going to want to try to build around your boy Jackson Dart. So I could definitely see them guys moving him as well. But Kayvon Thibodeau definitely look to being moved. I think that's somebody who definitely has a chance to be moved. The Packers just re-signed offensive tackle Sean Ryan to a 3-year extension worth $39 million. Again, these are moves that help free up money because now you can sign these guys to longer deals, make this and now stretch the money out further and further so that you can move around and, you know what I'm saying, have more money to play with in the right now because you're trying to win right now. You ain't trying to win in the future, but you're trying to set yourself up for the future. So I think that's a good look. The Bills also just cut offense, not Bills, but the Giants just released offensive tackle James Hudson, saving themselves $5.4 million. So again, we're gonna go to here we go. We're gonna go to the numbers here. This is the salary cap right now. Top 15 teams right now, salary cap as of yesterday. So again, the numbers are still literally moving as we speak. This is the numbers as of yesterday that I got off Yahoo Sports of March 7th as of yesterday. We got the Raiders at the top with 121 million. And this is cap space. This is what you got to spend in free agency with the Raiders cutting Alex Kappa, releasing Geno Smith. Obviously, the dead cap money right here, 40 million. This is money they can't spend because they owe players this type of money. They owe players that they cut or release $40 million. And then this is what they have to get to. So they got some money to spend. Raiders are at the top. These are the top 15 teams. And again, this thing is ever flowing because we've already had new cuts, new updates and everything. Again, the Broncos just agreed to a deal to re-sign Justin Snart to a 3-year, $18 million deal. So even little things like that move the money and move the needle. Everybody's trying to get above the cap number. But this is it. And here's the entire list. And you're going to see some teams maybe in the negative, but again, these teams are still about to make moves to get out. As you can see, not a lot of teams are super over. And again, the Bills just cut Tyron Johnson, Curtis Samuel, and all those guys literally today. So they're going to be closer than they are right here. The Ravens will make some moves as well to get under. Obviously, they got Maxx Crosby, so this number will change as well. I'm pretty sure they'll restructure some deals to make sure they get under the cap. The Vikings have already said they're going to release Aaron Jones. And we already talked about all the guys that they're going to release to get under the cap number. So these numbers will change as the league year officially starts too. But again, we want to just look at, like I said, the top 15 teams. These are the teams with money who got a chance to really make some noise. As we talked about, make some real noise in the free agency. Again, it's a lot of talent in the free agency. So if this is your team is on any one of these teams right here. If your team is on this list, your team has a chance to make an impact in the free agency as well. And again, see my Titans right there. We were number one, but with the Chargers cutting the boatload of dudes, re-signing Khalil Mack to a fully guaranteed deal, it freed up a lot of money. The Raiders were always number two, but again, the Geno Smith cut, the Alex Kappa cut, and freeing up a bunch of guys, it's freed up a bunch of room. You got the Commanders who came out and said they're going to be aggressive, but not be crazy aggressive. I don't know what that means, but again, I think they're going to be aggressive in the free agency again after making an NFC championship just 2 years ago. And now, having it down here with your quarterback being hurt, I think they're going to be aggressive. I think the Jets are going to try to figure out their quarterback situation. Do you take a chance on Ty Simpson, who they've already said they're going to bring in for a private workout, or do you hold your hand and sit and pat and wait to the next year draft? I think they have a chance to be aggressive in free agency because they got to figure out what they're going to do at quarterback. The Seahawks, the defending champs, actually ain't sitting bad right now at all. Again, but they got a lot of household names they're going to be trying to bring back. So that's why they haven't made a lot of crazy moves. Tyreek Woolen, like we talked about, Josh Jobe out there, Kobe Bryant, Kenneth Walker, who's set to probably get anywhere between 15 to 18 mil a year on the running back market. And that's because the Jets, who franchise tag Brees Hall, now you cut the best running back on the market out from everybody. And now you got teams like scrambling because now they need a running back. So I do think that that's going to help out him in his market. So I think that'll get him paid. I think the Patriots, again, they're going to probably be aggressive. You don't make a Super Bowl, still got a little money left over. I think they're going to try to get a couple guys to help repair that offensive line. If it's not in free agency, it could be in the draft. The Niners as well. They just re-signed Eddie Pinheiro. I thought that was a good pickup for them. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your kicker. That helps out. Again, points matter. You see what the you see what the Cowboys are going through with Brandon Aubrey right now, not being able to get him signed. So um, it's gonna be a lot of talent again. If you haven't seen, I showed the free agent list last week on Thursday of the top free agents that are available at each position. And again, now you're looking at the top teams available with money to spend. So you 1000% hope your team is on this list for sure, for sure. I think it's some guys with some big markets as well. And again, we'll get into specific team and player fits come next week when we get deep into our division by division breakdown, like we talked about. We'll do the AFC and NFC West on Tuesday and on Thursday. So make sure y'all tap in and lock in to the podcast and to the production so that you can be tuned to catch your squad when it's your time. Because you're gonna definitely want to hear what these guys got to say about your team and what they think they're going to do in the free agency, what they've already done in free agency, and what they're setting up to do in the draft. So we definitely gonna have some really informative gentlemen on. It's going to be fun. So make sure y'all keep your ears to the streets. But again, I'm excited. Like I said, the teams that I think will be the most aggressive. As I said, I think my Titans will be aggressive. I think the Raiders will be aggressive. Chargers will be aggressive. Um, I think Commanders, again, the top money spenders, again, they said not crazy aggressive, but aggressive. I think the top teams with money, you got to spend it because you got to get under a certain amount of this before season starts. So you got to kind of spend aggressively anyway just to get under the number. I don't have the exact number in front of me. And then again, Patriots and Niners are two teams that I think are going to make some moves because I think the Patriots want to make sure they stay intact and then the Niners got a lot of influx coming in and out with the coaches changing staff. You want to bring some guys in to help stabilize. I think those are some of the teams that's going to be aggressive. And then a lot of teams, Rams are going to try to keep a lot of in-house. I think again, that's why they traded to get McDuffie. They're going to have to use this money to probably pay him and give him an extension. He's on the last year of his deal. So I don't think they'll really do too much money there. But again, Texans, again, re-signing a lot of their homegrown guys because they got a lot of talent there. I do think they'll maybe be in the running back market. So maybe they look out for a running back. And then again, Niners, Patriots, and then Seahawks, Jets, Commanders, Titans, Chargers. All of these teams have a chance to be big spenders in free agency, bring in a lot of players. Because again, you got to get under that threshold. And then again, seeing the Patriots do what they did last season, and spending over $100 million in free agency, and in return going to a Super Bowl. I think a lot of teams are like, okay, let's see if we can kind of mimic some of that. You know, we're in a copycat league, so it probably won't be exactly that, but it could be something like that, I should say. Something along the lines of that, not necessarily that, but we'll see. Again, free agency officially opens up Monday, and it's gonna be bopping. It's gonna be jumping. So I'm excited. You already know, stay tuned. I'll be dropping reels and shorts and breaking news of some of the bigger ones that happen on Monday, if any happen, if any big ones happen before the Tuesday episode. We'll definitely make sure to keep everybody tapped in. So make sure you still subscribe to my Facebook, my Instagram, YouTube, all of those things. I'll make sure to tag them in the links below in the comment section so that everybody can tap in on different platforms to stay tapped in and get those breaking news as they drop. Because I think this is going to be a good free agency frenzy. It's a lot of talent in the free agency. So I think this is going to be a real good free agency frenzy this year. We're going to see a lot of talent going to some new places. So we'll see what teams are eyeing. We'll see as it goes because I feel like it's gonna get aggressive early, and I think a lot of teams are gonna want to get their guys in as soon as they can. With being a lot of new coaches, I think we got 10 new coaches in this turnover off season. So yeah, I think you're gonna definitely wanna you wanna go to get the guys you want, get them in to start building your culture up. So I think that'll be a fun look to see who comes out and aggressive. Let me get that date for you. Yeah, April 6th is off-season workouts begin for the teams with new head coaches. So again, that's before the draft. You get to get some of those guys you just brought that you one brought in through free agency already, and you get a lot of those returners. You get your hand on those guys. Because right now you don't really get to do anything with those dudes. You see them at the facility working out from time to time, come in, shake their hand, but you can't do any football activities with those guys until the new league year begins. So it's really just a bunch of FaceTime calls, talking film, talking ball. You don't really get to do anything with your players until the new league year officially begins. And that's on the 11th. So again, uh, by the time the free agency is done, by April 6th, they'll be able to bring in the free agents and the players that were already on the team to get going. Again, we got 10 new coaches this year. So that's why I think this free agency will be exciting. I think a lot of those new coaches will be aggressive. That's why I picked a couple of those teams who we know are going to have new head coaches. But I know we're gonna be excited. Tua potentially is gonna be cut. Kyler Murray's already being informed he's gonna be cut. So it's gonna be some talented guys in the free agency. Malik Willis, like we already talked about, Kenneth Walker. We already talked about Pierce. I talked about a lot of these guys, but it just shows that, like I said, it's going to be an exciting free agency. I think it's going to be some big time eye popping signings. I think some teams are going to make some strides to get better. And this is where you start. You start in the free agency, and you draft, and you build that with the guys already in the building, and you start to build yourself up. So yeah, be on alert. Be on alert for your team, especially if they got the money to do something. Because you gotta be to something to do something. But yeah, no, the free agency is gonna be good. It's gonna be a good look. And again, I'm excited for my Titans. I'm excited for what we can do. But again, I'll get deeper into that as we get into the AFC South breakdown, and that'll be coming up in a few weeks. Next, we talk NBA updates. You already know the first thing I'm gonna talk about. One of my Duke guys, JT, played his first game. You know, we talked about it. Got real passionate on the show. I was watching it back, and I was like, "Yeah, I was defending my guy." You already know how I feel about them Duke boys, man. So, I got to. But again, big game for him again. It was a good game, man. 15 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. He started 0 for 6, but he got his groove, started figuring it out. And I liked how he finished. And I liked the ball movement. He was involved and he wasn't. They kind of let him and JT play. Um a little bit off one another, and they kind of sat while one played too as well. So I did think that was a good look too. But again, it was a good game. Excited. They're going right now. They got the first game up. They got the 10 a.m. game. So by the time you hear this, it'll probably be over or close to over. But we got 25-24 Boston right now with 2 minutes left in the in the first quarter. Really good game again, man. Boston looks good. It already looks good without JT, and again, you're bringing those guys back. They're going to be a problem come playoffs. And again, they're going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. And again, with new James Harden, brought in Dennis Schroeder. This is going to be a good team too. This could be an Eastern Conference Finals preview. You never know. Obviously, I think Detroit gonna have something to say about that, but this is just me speaking. But again, I'm very excited to see JT out there, man. Again, it was a long awaited process, and to see him back out there and playing with the guys and competing is a good look. I'm excited for the Spurs. I mean, not the Spurs. I'm excited for the Celtics and what they got. They just had the Spurs come across, but the Spurs gonna be a problem too, as well. But again, Trey Young too, as well, as another guy I want to talk about because in his first debut, he got ejected, so we didn't get to see him, but he made his debut on the fifth against the Utah Jazz. Unfortunately, it was a loss. He played 19 minutes, scored 12 points, had 6 assists. He's 1 for 5 from the three, 4 for 9 from the field. Had a nice little floater and one in the game. Again, he's just getting his feet wet. He hadn't played since last year in December. So I definitely think he was sitting for a long time. That's a lot of time to not play basketball. So now he's healthy. I think he's going to. I think he's definitely going to perform well. He's going to definitely help out the Washington Wizards. And then when they get AD back, Now they're gonna have a team, Alex R, like we talked about. I think the arrow's gonna be pointing up for those guys and what they have done. But again, like I said, 18 points on the season, 6 and 8 assists. Not Trey Young numbers. He's usually gonna go up. I think he's gonna finish the season strong just to give those guys something to look forward to um, in the offseason. It's something to build around. Like I said, I think it's gonna be a little buzz in DC, especially if once everybody's healthy. Obviously, when the season starts, they all got to stay healthy, or that buzz will go away very, very quickly. But yeah, Trey Young played well. But we'll see. Like I said, came out a little flat. But again, like I said, ain't played in a long time, but excited to see him and Jason Tatum do their thing. Should be interesting to watch him down the stretch, see how they perform, see how hard Trey will play, knowing he ain't really playing for nothing. How hard will he play out there? And obviously, knowing all that's in front of the Boston Celtics and getting Jason Tatum back at this time, what that could mean for them, the franchise, the entire organization going forward. So it's the NBA is getting to the fun part. We're less than 20 games for some teams away. Uh, Less than 20 games away for some teams from the playoffs. So we'll see where it goes. Today's games, let me go ahead and pull up those. Got those up on deck too. Obviously, we just talked about today's game already. Get my notes right here. Like I said, we was already talking about today's game. That's already going right now. We got Boston, Cleveland. Next game that to be up is Knicks, Lakers. I'm not sure if LeBron James will play. I know he missed the last game, but shout out to Brown for breaking the all-time field goals record. What was it? 15,838 and counting. But congratulations to him on setting another milestone and keeping his name afloat in the GOAT debate. Wherever your stance is on it. But yeah, that is what it is. But shout out to Brown for again another record. But again, I'm not sure if he's playing the game against the Knicks. The Knicks are playing well, man. I can say that. They are playing pretty well. Jalen Brunson has always been consistent. Karl Anthony Towns plays like a big man some days he don't. But I think the key guy right now is OG Anunoby. If he can consistently be that third, sometimes second option when Karl is flat, play on both ends of the floor, and be a defensive prowess, I think they got a chance to make some noise in the East and really, get to the second, maybe third round and have a chance to really make it to the finals. But it starts on the defensive end. And even though I'm not a fan of Mike Brown, one thing Mike Brown is going to coach is defense. So that's why they've been so much better on the defensive end this year. And I think that's what makes Knicks fans a little bit more excited too, is that Mike Brown. Like I said, it's got that team playing well, but we'll see. It takes time. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Mike Brown fan, but like I said, I know he coached that defense, obviously, and then on the other end, you got the Lakers, who really, like I said, maybe they win the playoff series. It just depends on who they play, but they looking like more like if anything, they'd be a one and done situation as well. I think they're looking forward to life when Luca could take over. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and they can go ahead and move on from Brian. Now bring some more pieces around. It's to me, you can't have Luca, Brian, and Austin Reeves out there. Brian too old to play defense, and Luca and Reed can't play defense. So like, it's just not enough defense on the floor for them to actually go far. That's my personal opinion. So like I said, maybe a playoff series win, depending on who they play against, they can. But if the effort on defense don't get better for the Lakers, I can't see that going. Can't see that going anywhere. A couple more games we got today. We got the Mavericks and the Raptors. Obviously, Cooper Flag, potential Rookie of the Year candidate. Him and my other boy, Colin Kniffle. But again, two Duke boys battling out for Rookie of the Year, so I'm excited for that. But Mavericks, Raptors. Again, the Mavs kind of cleaned house, brought it in, gonna turn the team around. But I'm a Cooper Flag guy. Obviously, he went to Duke. And then obviously I like Bi, another Dookie. So he over here in Toronto, and they're not terrible right now, 35 and 27. But still play in hopes are still in the mix, still could try to potentially make a play in. So um, it is what it is there on that. We also got at 3 o'clock Pistons in the Heat. I think that should be a nice physical game. I like Bam Adebayo. I like his game. I think he's a more of a forward than a five, but just with the style they play, and he plays physical enough to play center, and it kind of helps keep the floor space. But I do think sometimes him being undersized kind of kills them in the long run from getting to that true where they need to be. Because I do think he's more of a power forward than just a center. And then again, the Pistons got a MVP candidate in Kay Cunningham. Obviously, don't know if he'll get it over SGA or the Joker with the way they've been playing. But obviously, with the injury rule, if you don't play 65 games, you don't qualify for MVP. I think the Joker can only miss one more game, and I think Shea got like 10 more games. So as long as they don't miss no games, one of those guys will probably get MVP. But anything's possible in the NBA, and I think even if that was to happen, I think K to still take that MVP. Like, why not? It's still the MVP of the league. You don't lose it. Maybe some people might have something to say, but it's still mine. Next up, we got Wizards Pelicans. Again, we get another chance to see Trae Young. I'll be tuned into that game. Obviously, another Duke boy, Zion. Duke boys are everywhere. That is crazy. RJ Barrett, too. Duke, like, whew. Holy Toledo's bad, man. Am I telling y'all something? Yeah, but nah, we get the chance to see Trae Young again. I'm excited to see him. Like I said, I'll definitely be tuned in. I want to see how he plays with the guys. I want to see if he's just playing out there, if he's just messing around, or is he out there playing, trying to get in rhythm, build some camaraderie with some of these young dudes who he could be playing with for the foreseeable future. Next, we got Magics and Bucks. Obviously, we know, like I said, the Bucks ain't playing for much, but Giannis is gonna play hard every night. I think the Mavericks take this game. I'll pick my winners for all these games too, and I'll run back pick those in a second. But I'm taking the Magics in that game as well. We got Rockets Spurs at San Antonio. I want to take the Spurs on this one. I think the Spurs are a really good team. I think they're one of the top 5 teams probably in the entire NBA. I don't know if that's going to translate to the playoffs because I have my own thoughts about Victor Wembanyama and his health. I know they don't really play him a lot of minutes. I know they played him like 30 minutes once or twice this year. But as the playoffs come, will he be able to play 35, 36 minutes? Um, and then on the other hand, will he need to? Will they put game? Will they be in enough games where he can play 28 to 30 minutes and still be effective enough to win games late? We'll see. But I definitely like them over the Rockets today. We got Pacers, Trailblazers. I'm definitely gonna take the Trailblazers. Uh, I like Drew Holiday. He's still over there balling, doing his thing. Jermani Grant is still over there playing well. Some vet players who still get buckets and have days. I want to say Drew had 30 the other day. He had like 30 and 10. So again, he can still turn back that clock. Had those numbers. The Time Lord had like 24 points the other day. Like they got some OG. They got some vets over there who've had some moments and had some nice careers and were big time parts of good teams, championship teams. So I like Portland. They're undercover, decent team, 30 and 34 this year. I expect them to get it done, especially with an undermanned Pacer team. And then the last game of the day is the Hornets and the Suns. And I'm taking the Hornets, man. The Hornets are on the run. Honestly, I was just talking about potential rookie of the year candidate Colin Knippel. But I'm a super fan of LaMelo Ball. If you know me, I like LaMelo Ball. So I like that they've been on a nice little win streak. I know they took a L, but they've been on a nice little win lately, a nice little run over the last couple games, nice little stretch, trying to make themselves a play-in candidate. I'm excited to see. Obviously, Dylan Brooks in the news, injured right now and in trouble. But Devin Booker and those guys will be ready to play. I'm gonna take the Hornets though, man. I think the Hornets are striking and streaking at the right time. Um, and they're gonna be a fun team to play in the playoffs. They shoot a lot of threes. Um, they kind of and they don't play defense like this, but offensively they like Boston, man. They get a lot of threes up and they make a lot of them when they get them up. And they got a lot of guys who can shoot the three and score the basketball. So they're like I ain't gonna call them Boston, but they got that style of play on offense. And again, right now they're in the play in the 10th spot. So um, along with the Hawks and the Sixers and the Heat are the bottom 4 teams and all sitting to do in that play in. But again, this is a tight Eastern Conference race right now. It's anybody's game still right now, especially with JT coming back. The Knicks been playing well. That those top 3 seeds is anybody's game right now. And like I said, man, obviously my Brooklyn Nets, we are terrible right now. But like I said, I'm excited for the future for what we have in store for the future. We're gonna have a lottery pick. We're gonna have a chance to get one of these sensational freshmen that have been out here balling, y'all. I'm talking about balling. There've been some nice freshmen out there balling. Uh, Unfortunately, the freshman out of UConn, Wilson, broke his hand. He gonna be out indefinitely. Even though I'm not a UConn fan, I don't wish injury on nobody. Not even my worst enemy. So now I don't wish that. I want us to beat them with their entire team and fully intact. That's the best way to beat UConn when they at the strength. So then it feels that much sweeter when Duke Blue slam on them. But yeah, no, again, it's a very, very lit draft. So to all of us who teams are down here in the basement dwelling, fret not, fret not. It's some nice, nice rookies coming out in college hoop. So if you haven't been watching college hoop, March Madness is upon us. So you will get to see very soon some of the most talented freshmen in the country and could be playing on a team near you real, real soon. And I got my fingers crossed that we get some talent in Brooklyn. I wouldn't mind a kid that go to Duke either. But there's some other talented dudes there. So I'm not picky. I ain't picky. I am a little bit, but it's a nice amount of those dudes I take. So I ain't complaining in that sense. I ain't overly picky like that. And then in the West, we got our play-in teams. The Phoenix Suns at 7, Golden State Warriors at 8, Clippers at 9, Trailblazers at 10. Again, that veteran team Trailblazers. They sneaky good, man. A bunch of vets over there. A couple of young dudes still trying to figure it out. I like the little mix up they got over there. And again, that's what got them in the play-in. Uh, can't think of the foreign guy name. He averaging like 24 right now. If I said his name, I say it wrong. I'll be destroying names. Wait till I get my homie DJ on here. He killed names. But yeah, nah. So we ain't gonna do all that. But I like the West. I like the way the lineup is. It's gonna be good matchups no matter who play. Like from the opening ones, from the first series in the first round of the playoffs. It's gonna be good matchups no matter kind of what combination, who gets in here. Obviously, the Trailblazers will be that team that can probably make it funky. But if the Clippers get in, if the healthy Warriors get in with a healthy Porzingis, and a healthy Curry, obviously they won't have Jimmy Butler. So they won't be that healthy, but they can get in there with those guys. Obviously, the way the Clippers have been playing, post James Harden with Kawhi Leonard's been playing at an all-star level, like the Kawhi that won 2 championships. He's been playing super well on both ends of the floor, defense and offense. Obviously, they just had the meltdown versus the Spurs on a 25-point comeback last what was that, like 2 nights ago. But yet and still, Kawhi's been playing well. Darius Garland's still trying to figure himself out. I like that Clippers team again. They'd be a tough out. And then again, the Phoenix Suns. They still don't got a point guard, but they got a lot of wild guys who don't mind playing. And I think Dylan Brooks roused those dudes up. Dylan Brooks is one of those dudes that, man, you rather play with him than against him. He get on your nerves out there on that court. But like I said, man, he's a guy that works hard, defends. He was a great scorer when he was at Oregon. If you go check his numbers, man, he was a very good scorer. So he still has that ability to put the ball on the floor and make plays. But he's made his bones being, man, a defensive menace. And not just a menace, but a really good defender on the ball, off the ball. So I like the Phoenix team. Like I said, I think the West and the East this year, I think the playoffs will be fun. Again, though, the West is going to be interesting, damn near no matter who get in. I think it'll make for interesting rounds. But you just want to see how those top 3 seeds play out. The Spurs have been gaining on the Thunder, even though the Spurs beat the Thunder every time but one time they played 3 out of the 4 games. I still like the Thunder, man. I think they're still just a deep team. But the Spurs have been showing their depth too. But I think that's gonna be a good one. Obviously, Ant-Man and those dudes are gonna have something to say. But I really think it's just a 2-man race, man, between the Thunder and the Spurs right now. I could be wrong. The Nuggets would be in there, but I don't know if they're gonna stay healthy. Um, uh, Aaron Gordon was gone. He just got back into his first game back. Jamal Murray gone now. Joker missed a bunch of games. So this is not me saying that the Nuggets aren't good enough to win the championship. I just not 100% sure if they're going to be healthy enough to win the championship. But fully healthy, they'd be in the top 3 right there with the Thunder and the Spurs as a championship team. So let me make sure I say that too, just in case any Nugget fans get on here thinking I'm tripping because I wanted to make sure I say that. I think fully healthy, they're one of the 3 best teams in the West. But again, like I said, injuries are killing them right now, and they're still one of the top 5 best teams in the West record wise. All the injuries, Joker missing 18 games, Gordon missing a bunch of games. Like I said, Jamal Murray's probably finna miss a couple games. That looked like a tough injury. he had to be assisted off. He wasn't even able to walk off on his own power. So I think that's gonna be a hard one. So that's my only gripe for the Nuggets. And then the Rockets, I like the Rockets, but they are top bottom 5 in crunch time minutes. So they're one of the worst teams when the games are close. And in the playoffs, most games are close. Unless the Rockets are going to just run away with all those weapons and all that defense and all that talent, if they're just going to run away with every game, then yeah. But that's not how the playoffs is. Games get slowed down. Coaches really open up the playbook and you know what I'm saying, really hunker down and really show off some things. So again, unless they just turn it on, man, which I don't think can happen. Because you are who you are when you show this late. And again, the crunch time minutes are still bad. They're still bottom 5 in the league. Again, they win a lot of games too because they run away with games. But I think that's gonna be tough in the playoffs. So again, that's why I think this is a two-team race. Um, again, with the Nuggets being that dark horse if they're healthy when playoffs come, because then all bets is off if everybody healthy enough. Because we know what Joker can do out there when he's ready to go. And then in the East, like I said, Detroit, the top 4 teams for real. Detroit, Boston, New York, Cleveland. Those teams. And Cleveland would be the dark horse. Because James Harden just don't never show it in the playoffs. So as good as the Cavs look right now, and as nice as James Harden look, and James Harden one of my guys. I'm a fan of James Harden. So he just don't show off in the plays, man. He hasn't. He always goes flat in the game or two when they need him the most. So, and Donovan Mitchell too, man. Don't forget, man, when he was in Utah with the Jazz and they was winning 50 something games and they was a top 2, 3 seed. He never made a championship. He never made a finals. So we got 2 dudes who still ain't never made it nowhere together doing their thing, still trying to make it somewhere. So I think until they get over the hump, I'm still gonna have them as a dark horse. So I'm gonna say it's a 3-team race between the Pistons, the Celtics, and the Knicks. And then I'm gonna give the Cavaliers that dark horse. But that means James Harden and Donovan Mitchell got to play lights out, and it hasn't consistently shown in the playoffs. On their resume, can an old dog do new tricks this late in their career? We shall see. Because everybody is loving the Cavaliers and their numbers to run the championship have went up and the betting odds and all that. So the pressure is on for them to see and show improve. But again, I still got them right there as a dark horse team. But it's not a long shot, but the shot ain't that close either. It ain't a long 3, but it ain't a mid range either. So we'll see. But I'm excited for the NBA playoffs. Like I said, we're about less than 20 games away from finals. I mean, not from finals, from the playoffs. And now all of the dudes who not that good, they don't play no more. Everybody minutes go up. We playing the best 8 to 9 dudes per game. Some teams gonna be playing less. So I love it, and we'll be tuned in for it, and we'll make sure we talk about it right here on the podcast. So make sure again, y'all always like, subscribe, share. Anytime y'all see me on something, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, make sure y'all share that for me. That's all I'm asking. Don't take much to share players. You feel me? But as we begin next week, next Tuesday, or this Tuesday, my apologies. Make sure you tune into the podcast on Tuesday. We'll have a couple guests on. We'll have somebody speaking for the Raiders, talking about cap space, draft spots, who you want to draft, top free agents coming in, who they bringing in on their top 30 visits for the draft time. We'll do that with the Chiefs. We'll do that with the Broncos, and we'll do that with the Chargers as well. That'll be on Tuesday's episode. And obviously, we'll talk a little basketball, a couple of games, and any of the latest and greatest news of any of the latest trades and anything. You know, you're going to hear him here. And then on that Thursday, we'll be doing NFC West. So every week on the Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to bounce back and forth between NFC and AFC. Rather it's this week we starting with the West because the Raiders got the first pick, so they get the first choice. So AFC West on Tuesday, NFC West on Thursday, and then next Tuesday we'll be doing the AFC East because the Jets got picked 2, and we'll be doing the NFC East because we'll just do it like that, and then so on and so forth, and everybody will get a chance to hear from a couple people. My personal bringing the wood people coming to bring all things. That's what I'm gonna call it. My bringing the wood folks, bringing all things. Packers bringing all things. Raiders bringing all things. Niners bringing all things football. So you already know, love, peace, and hair grease. love, live life in Tupac. Do something good for somebody out there. Don't always just do something for yourself. Again, don't fight silent. Don't fight battles alone. It's hard to win like that. You need a team to win out here. So shout out to everybody who helped make this successful. And before I go, I know it ain't Black History Month, but shout out to Run the World Vic, Black-owned clothing store, Run the World Clothing. I'll make sure to put them in the link. And shout out to the homie Breon Moore, Strange Fruit Clothing, as well. I put them on too. Hey, you already know, free promotion because they're my folks. And if you got something, hey, Dom, I got you too when you get on too. But we'll say that when you get on in a couple weeks. Hey, you already know it's the Bringing the Wood podcast. It's your boy D Wood, and I just brought the wood. Peace.
You've been locked in to Bringing the Wood. No soft takes, no watered down debates. If it's in the game, we bring it head on. Until next time, stay locked in.